Hey guys, Dan, the craft beer man, back at it again with a new brew, a review for you today. So I have a very unique beer for you today. This is Kanazawa Aroha Blonde. This comes from Main Street Brewing Company out of East Vancouver, BC, established 2014. This particular beer is a 5.5 ABV and a 5 IBU. Now this beer is a hybrid. It's a vineyard collaboration between Kanazawa and Main Street. A little bit about Main Street. The main thing is the beer. Main Street Brewing Company resides in one of Vancouver's few surviving industrial heritage buildings, the Vancouver Brewery's Garage, established in 1913 in the historic Brewer Creek district. Some fun facts about Main Street. Because they're a heritage building, the only way to expand their tanks is to lower them through the skylight in the ceiling. Their core beers include their Pilsner, their Pale Ale, their IPA, their Saison, and their Brown Ale. Not to mention their Imperial Bourbon Barrel Aged Stag and Pheasant limited release. I had that this past year, and I believe it had Buffalo Trace bourbon in it, if I'm not mistaken. Their lounge at Main Street occupies one corner of the brewery, but still very much part of the whole brewery and brewing process. You'll smell the sweet grain, the hops, and the malt. You'll see the bricks, the beams, the strung lights, the large murals, and share beer stories on their long communal tables. Now, the brewery also offers draft service, snacks, growler fills, retail samples, tours. It's family friendly, as well as you can get merchandise there too. All right, so a little bit about Kanazawa. They're in the Okanagan. They were established in 2010. They produce red, white, and sparkling wines, as well as late harvest and dessert wines. They produce about 900 cases of wine a year. They're a husband and wife owner operator. They were formerly with Red Rooster and Blasted Church, and they produce such wines as Cab Franc, Cab Sauv, Chardonnay, Merlot, Moscato, Petit Verdot, Pinot Blanc, Semillon, Shiraz, and Viognier. And something really cool is this flower on here, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, was actually the flower that was on the bride or the wife's wedding dress or kimono when they got married. So that's sort of, I guess, respect or admiration to his wife and partner. That's pretty cool stuff. All right, so this beer again unique because it's kind of a hybrid. It's collaboration. It's part wine. It's part beer. So this is a blonde, also known as a golden ale. Usually they're very easy drinking. There's no strong hop or malt characteristics. Usually pretty smooth. Low alcohol, low IBU. They might have some honey or spices or fruit added after the fermentation process. And the unique thing about golden or blonde ales is that they can be fermented with either lager or ale yeast. So they're kind of light, they're kind of heavy, they're heavier than a lager or pilsner, but then they're not quite as heavy as, say, an ale or pale ale. So kind of a very unique beer to itself. Pinot Gris or Pinot Grigio, depending on where the grape or the wine is produced, can be dry, can be semi-sweet, can be sweet. Originally came out of Burgundy, France. It is considered a white wine, although the grape itself is kind of a pinkish rosé. And it can sometimes give you spicy notes, it can give you tropical notes, sometimes stone fruit or smoke, wet wool, kind of an interesting characteristic. And generally, Pinot Gris has a low acid or low acidity. All right, so the brewer's notes on this particular beer. This blonde ale is blended with Pinot Gris juice from Kanazawa and has a pleasant fruitiness and minerality. New Zealand Wakatu and Araku hops provide herbal, lime, and stone fruit notes, while the mild malt body of Pilsner and wheat provides the backdrop to the citrus, apple, and pear flavors of the Pinot Gris. All right, so that's all my notes. So let's give this one a go. So this is Kanazawa Aroha Blonde from Main Street Brewing and Kanazawa Vineyards. Cheers. Wow. Beautiful. It's very dry. Um, so yes, it makes me think I'm drinking Pinot Gris. Um, it's not very acidic. Um, Definitely some tropical notes. I'm definitely getting some citrus, some apple, some maybe a little bit of pear. Definitely getting stone fruit. Definitely getting lime. So that's pretty cool. And I do. I'm starting to like New Zealand hops for sure. And it's just a very light bodied beer, which is pretty cool. Um, Bubbles are very tiny, um, so very low carbonation in this particular beer, but it's nice. It's definitely a summer beer. It's very soft. It's very refreshing. Dry finish to it. Doesn't linger in your mouth. I'm gonna give this a 4.5 out of 5 for me. What would I pair this with? Cured meats, seafood, white fish, shellfish, pork, Middle Eastern dishes, sushi, a variety of cheeses, sweet to spicy to hot food. So because this is a hybrid, so you can pair it like you're pairing it to Pinot Gris, or you can pair it like you're pairing it to a blonde or golden ale. Yeah, so I picked this up at the brewery, just off of, I think it's Main and 7th. But use Untapped, use the government liquor store app, and you should be able to find this close to you. Um, I think I also saw this at Everything Wine on Marine and Sawmill Crescent, just off of Boundary. A great wine store that also carries beer. So, but call the brewery. I'm sure they still have this. I wasn't there that long ago, and they still had it. Um, I have had two other great collaborations by Kanazawa and Main Street. Kanazawa, the Brut Moscato, beautiful beer. Moscato generally is more of a sweet white, but it can be made as a dry white as well. But it was just a beautiful beer, and I really loved it. And it was just cool. It was Muscat or Moscato juice, and then saison yeast, and it had like peach and orange and nectarine notes, and it was probably one of the best beers I had. I think I had it 2 years ago, so if I see it again, I'll get it. I'll do a review. But I also had an Abbey Rosé by Kanazawa and Main Street, a little bit more drier, but more of a pinkish hue to the beer, and a dry finish to it. So again, so this is Kanazawa Aroha Blonde from Main Street Brewing. This is a vineyard collaboration series beer, and Kanazawa producing some great beers, or great wines, pardon me. I just had I think I had a dry rosé called Sakura, and it was a pretty cool wine as well. So Main Street producing all sorts of cool stuff. Everything from their pilsner to their lager to the pale ale to the IPA to saisons to brown ale to their porters and stouts. If you see them, try them out. They got some really neat stuff, and I think they're 2014. They've been around, but they're expanding. They're kind of stepping out of their comfort zone and doing more unique style beers. So check them out. All right, so that's it from me. 4.5 out of 5 from me. Kanazawa Aroha Blonde, Main Street Brewing. Fantastic beer, great for summer, great for hot weather. It is a hot one out there, and please stay safe, please stay well, protect yourself, protect your family, and just stay home and drink beer. And Watch me. All right, and I will be doing some more contests soon, so stay tuned. All right, guys. Remember, keep calm and drink craft beer. Cheers. Have a good night.